This is my fifth such speech to Congress. And once again, I look at the Democrats in front of me, and I realize there is absolutely nothing I can say to make them happy or to make them stand or smile or applaud. Nothing I can do. Just listen to some of the appalling waste we have already identified. $22 billion from HHS to provide free housing and cars for illegal aliens. $45 million for diversity, equity, and inclusion scholarships in Burma. $40 million to improve the social and economic inclusion of sedentary migrants. Nobody knows what that is. $8 million to promote LGBTQI+ in the African nation of Lesotho, which nobody has ever heard of. $60 million for indigenous peoples and Afro-Colombian empowerment in Central America. $60 million. $8 million for making mice transgender.
Hi everyone, welcome back to the best political show on the planet, if we say so ourselves. Hello Luigi, how are you?
I think you underplayed it there. I mean, the best political show in the universe, quite possibly.
In all the universes. As you know, our greatest enemies always say. Luigi, we've got a barrage of news. The news waits for nobody. And with Donald Trump in charge, double time it waits for nobody.
And we are here to speed run through all of
everything. Oh, as much as we can, at least for this episode. We've got time, we can do another.
I wait for no one.
Yes. Right. So let's start, Luigi, I think, with his address to the Congress, State of the Union, whatever it was. 1.5 hour. Dude, you gotta be fucking levity, dude. Levity, brevity, whatever.
I have energy for days. I can go 5 hours, George.
I love his energy.
I go again.
Luigi, I love the energy, but he's speaking to fucking octogenarians, dude. And half of them have fucking dozed off. Just end it. I'll listen to it. You told me you listened to about 30 minutes, and that's about as much time as anybody would devote to this shit anyway. Thoughts on it, Luigi?
It was mental diarrhea, Trump style.
He started, if I remember, by beating up on the Democrats obsessively. It was like, you suck, you want nothing, I'm the best, fuck you. It's such a shame. You never, I've been here, what was it? I've been here so many times, 5 times, they have never clapped. So sad.
So they had to expelled the Democratic congressman for waving his stick.
His cane, his gold encrusted cane, which I thought, respect, make that the leader of your fucking party.
He called Elizabeth Warren Pocahontas once again to her face.
Did he turn towards her as well? I don't remember. Probably. I mean, it's Trump.
He did a shout out to Elon, who is the de facto president at this point.
Wanna note, Elon didn't Roman salute.
Not in Congress. Not yet.
Not yet in Congress. I think it was a military style salute, this one.
He bowed his head. He was like,
yes.
Thank you. I bought everyone in this room. Thank you.
It's nice to be with the people I bought. Anything else I've got on it? I thought he threatened the most mixed, the most egregious stuff he did in the whole speech, I believe, was when he threatened annexing Greenland again. I think he threatened Panama again. You can't go threatening annexing countries, dude. I mean, this is unacceptable, obviously, but he delivered it in the most mixed way possible. I think he started the Greenland thing with we respect your decisions about your sovereignty, but I think we're gonna have you one way or another. And I was like, whoa. It doesn't get more mixed than that. Pretty bad shit. Denmark, by the way, is furious.
Nobody cares.
Oh, now you say nobody cares. I remember another part where he was going about stupid shit that apparently US has been funding abroad, and he disrespected an African nation, Lesotho. They're furious about it, by the way, in Lesotho, because he was like, nobody's even heard of this country.
I mean, classic Trump.
Disrespect all around. I think that's the conclusion, but not his spiciest speech ever. Definitely not his
I'll
spiciest.
agree. But look, he's been making a lot
Many
of news
moves.
today,
He moves
many moves.
fast, makes
The
many moves. Oh, did we
and
mention? We had to mention this, Luigi, before you go on to this. He cut military aid, as predicted by yours truly. All military aid, all intelligence sharing, until, as Luigi very clearly pointed out, he signs that motherfucking mineral deal. That was on the table, and that was expected of him, basically.
because we are here to do what is morally correct,
Ooh,
George.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you were on point here. The moment Zelensky did not praise him, and like you have to understand, like flattery is the way you interact with Donald Trump.
Obviously.
The moment you become antagonistic in any way, he's gonna chop your proverbial bollocks
Testicles.
off.
Yes.
Yes.
Did you see the Jon Stewart's take? Jon Stewart is convinced that, and his team, I imagine, are convinced that it was a setup. Look,
Uh,
the point behind that is it's not the. Personally, I don't think that's the important one. I think the important thing is that Trump, whether he set him up or not, wants to do the fucking minerals deal. That's the fucking thing that he
Bingo.
wants to do. And he's been clear about it. That's the only thing he discusses, apart from we gotta save those handsome
Yeah.
people.
And since we're on this topic, there was an interesting report in Russian media a couple of days ago that basically said that Putin has agreed to act as a mediator between the US and Iran. So we are
Yeah.
basically seeing an angle where, the relationship between Trump and Putin, it goes beyond Ukraine and the mineral deal. Like it
Oh yeah.
expands to other areas. Like, yeah,
He's
because
always liked Putin. He's always liked Putin. And he has never fucking strayed away from that. Ever.
yeah, but staying in Donald
Yes.
Trump news,
Now let's move on to the news you wanted to give, the
the
economic news, people.
the big item. So apparently the trade war is over for now. He just announced today, a few hours ago, after speaking with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, I have agreed that Mexico will not be required to pay tariffs on anything that falls under the USMCA agreement. This agreement is until April 2nd. I did an accommodation, and out of respect for President Sheinbaum, our relationship has been a very good one, and we are working together on the border both in terms of stopping illegal aliens from entering the United States, and here's the important bit, and likewise stopping fentanyl. Thank you, President Scheinbaum. Here's why I'm highlighting all of this. Last episode, we mentioned that the Treasury Secretary sort of opened up the idea of Mexico joining the US in its trade war against China. I
Fortress North America. That's what you
Exactly. And this hasn't been announced, but I am willing to bet one of my testicles
He's
that
only got two, folks.
I mean 50% of my testicles that
Of his
this
testicular power.
of my testicular arsenal. I am willing to bet that this was part of the
Shit.
agreement. You join us against China, we back off on tariffs against you. Fortress North America, that's the game, baby. We're coming after China. And very important again, the tariffs against China are the only tariffs that went through so far. So that gives up the game. Trump is very focused on that. Harassing Mexico and Canada have been negotiating tactics to get them to fall into line. I think it's pretty clear.
Perhaps. It's definitely. I'm definite that that's the way Scott views it. 100%. Trump. I mean, who knows? I mean, in the dark crevices of his mind. I mean, how this is going. But I will say this. explain to me how a leftist, Claudia, manages to have such a good relationship with a fucking, I mean, let's call him far-right troglodyte. I think everybody will agree with that.
Alt-right,
Alt-right
out of the
business
box,
idol.
stable genius.
The stablest of genius.
Yeah, but it's pretty
How?
simple. It's pretty simple. She fell in line. I mean, she didn't go antagonistic. She
She didn't
doesn't.
go antagonistic, but she went less, I think, obsequious than the Canadians. I mean, Trudeau literally dragged his ass out there in 2 days to Mar-a-Lago. Remember that? And he got fuck all out of it. He got
Uh,
humiliated even further. He keeps calling
and
him governor. I
yeah,
mean,
I mean,
look at this, Luigi. I mean, think of it rationally, and supposedly this is mostly about the fentanyl. Most of the fentanyl is going from Mexico to the United States. And when I say most, it's probably more than 90%. 99.
99.8%. Yes.
So you've got that relationship. I'm not saying that Mexico doesn't get anything bad out of this. Mexico gets a shitload of guns going the other way. But that's the relationship.
Sorry,
So, yeah,
you meant freedom. Mexico gets a lot of freedom coming there. Yeah, sorry.
mechanized freedom.
Wow. Wow.
But yeah, but what do they get out of this? Out of Trump? Trump is okay with Mexico just sending 10,000 troops to the border, whatever. And then with Canada, who's like supplying, I don't know, 0.01% of the fentanyl, is like, I want to annex you as a country. It's like, what is this madness? I mean, the Canadians, by the way, I've been reading, are fucking fuming.
They
The
are.
Americans are dealing long-term damage to the relationship with Canadians because this is beyond disrespectful, people. Beyond disrespectful.
I think it's a repairable damage. I think Canada doesn't have a lot of bargaining power in that relationship. And like you pointed out before we started the show, Trump's, let's say, antagonistic relationship with Trudeau has managed to bring the Canadian Conservatives back in play for winning the election, basically. They're
The
about to have,
liberals, Luigi, sorry.
excuse me, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. The conservatives were gonna win it, going Trump style, but he's managed to get there, and they were 20 points behind the liberals. He's managed to get them. I think last poll they were ahead, which is
Yeah.
fucking unheard of, people. And I think as I was going on, we were talking with Luigi before the recording. It showcases that this Trumpist fucking thing can't go international because they all have to fall in line behind Trump. So how can they be Germany first, whatever first, Canada first, where they're all fucking bowing down to the McNugget, to the golden McNugget king?
And he bows to Elon. It's a
Yeah,
centipede.
we
Like,
described the centipede.
yes, yes.
But it's incredible because the conservatives can't even be nationalists anymore, Luigi. Isn't that incredible that
Yeah.
the liberals have assumed the mantle of protecting fucking Canada?
Yeah.
Which, by the way, was never the most united of countries. But today, even the French-speaking legends, I'm gonna call them, in Quebec, even they feel fucking Canadian at this point. Because that's what happens when an external threat wants to annex you. This is unacceptable.
I I really think that Trump is shitting on Trudeau so much because he smells blood in the water. He knows Trudeau is done. He's gonna be replaced, certainly gonna be replaced. And he was on Truth Social today. Believe it or not, despite the terrible job he's done for Canada, I think that Justin Trudeau is using the tariff problem, which he has largely caused, in order to run again for prime minister. So much fun to watch.
Fucking ridiculous. He's not gonna run again for prime
He's
minister.
not gonna run, but I really think he's setting up the angle of I pushed Trudeau out.
Yeah.
I squashed him like
You
a
are-
little bug.
And honestly, nothing to do with it. Trudeau has been the
Yeah.
maker of his own destruction. He's been running Canada for 15 years or something, people.
Just to wrap all of this up,
Yes.
most likely Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of Canada, Bank of England, sort of the technocrat is most likely gonna become prime minister.
But as far as I'm reading, he's most likely going to call immediate elections, given how well he's doing in the polls.
Yes.
So stay tuned for Canadian politics in the context of the trade war.
So we've
what
got the
is
trade war, Luigi. Is
Mhm.
supposed to go into effect the reciprocal tariffs, the new stable genius idea. The 2nd of April.
But here's the catch. Here's the catch on that. There's no tariffs under the USMCA agreement. So reciprocal tariffs basically mean like 0.5% because there's almost no tariffs between those three nations, between Canada,
So
Mexico, and the US. So
yeah,
there's no reciprocity to be
there are no
done.
tariffs,
Yeah,
people. Yeah,
there's
it's
nothing to
it's
be done.
almost a free trade agreement, completely free.
Yeah.
Fair
So,
enough.
so give or take, this chapter of the trade war is over in the North Americas, and
We'll see
the
with
trade
Europe,
war, yeah, Europe, China,
China, of course.
that is likely to remain the case. Speaking of Europe, we had big news in Europe recently. Big military spending coming your way, George. So the
They
Europeans,
have heard me, and now they will listen. And they will be, by the way, Macron and the French are insisting, yes, we want to increase defense spending, not because we like fucking guns, but because we are being literally threatened by hostile countries on our borders. And they're taking chunks of them.
I mean,
But we need to invest in our defense capabilities. I don't want us just to buy American shit
bingo.
because they control it, people. They can shut it off.
Yeah, yeah. And look, so Europe announced an 800 billion euro fund over several years.
Make it a trillion. Be
Yeah,
bored.
like almost a trillion, let's call it, to rearm Europe, basically. And look, I mean, it's happening. The
It's
markets,
happening.
like European weapons makers, the stock markets in general are celebrating this, because nothing
Europe
boosts,
is gonna spend, baby.
dude, nothing boosts investor confidence like the prospect of a well-armed Germany. I mean, yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
to get the business
I mean,
flowing.
the last time Germany rearmed very quickly, I mean, things didn't go very well, but third time is the charm, right?
100%, 100%. I fully endorse this. You mentioned Germany. Merz is trying to get rid of the debt brake for defense spending at least.
Which is the
Uh,
first step.
it is the first step. I hope the Greens push him a little bit to get rid of it altogether before they give that vote. Because it's gonna go. It's fucking shit. It's gonna
Yeah, and I
go.
mean, you have to spend on your military, given that another interesting piece of news, we had Donny Boy making headlines, Trump considering major NATO policy shift. Donald basically came out and said, we are thinking about the possibility of recalibrating the NATO alliance in a way
They can
that
siphon minerals from Ukraine for us.
the US, this is according to NBC, the US might not defend a fellow NATO member that is attacked if
Look,
the country
yeah,
doesn't meet the defense
yeah.
spending
Look,
criteria.
it's
That's
arbitrary bullshit criteria. He changes them every fucking 3 months. He's a mob boss, an unreasonable, delusional mob boss, and we gotta go our own way, people. This
100,
is the fucking conclusion of this situation. And
100%
they
agree.
will live to fucking regret this decision.
Dude, what is the point of having a military alliance that says an attack on one is an attack on all, if then you come out and say, actually, if you don't spend enough, maybe, I don't know. I mean, we'll
Ridiculous.
see. It depends on who
And
invades you. I
even
mean, what
beyond
the fuck?
military, Luigi, obviously Canada, Mexico have very few options because they're neighbors. But the rest of the world, who's gonna make a fucking trade deal with them? He's gonna change his mind tomorrow and not enforce it. It's bad all around. It's bad all around. When you have such a mercurial, let's call him,
Oof,
leader.
wow. But yeah, look, I'm happy we're moving in the right direction. Finally, Europe is gonna do its own defense. I mean, 70 years in the making. Let's
And I
go.
want us to end with the video, the Trump Gaza video that the White House official account released. Did you
Yeah.
watch that?
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I
mean,
have no words for it when I
the
ended
part
that.
the part where he's having mojitos with Netanyahu, brilliant.
And the disfigured Elon is just throwing cash away. I bought everything. Yeah, I bought everything.
My goodness.
Let's
So
end with that,
to end
Luigi.
on an optimistic note, we're living in a parody. Enjoy it.
Tunnels coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza #1.